Hello viewers, yes, this is Ranjana ma'am, and yes, you are watching yours as well as my channel. So this time, yeah, the thumbnail says it all, I know, but still I'm bringing for my ICSE students a new prose, a short story. Y'all are aware, y'all are doing it also, your syllabus has changed. So this is the first prose piece or the first story, short story, Bonku Babu's friend. Yes, so Bonku Babu's friend is what? It is about an alien visit. It is written by none other than the famous Satyajit Ray. Yeah, but before I start this story, you know what is coming. Many of you have said that yes, they are dying to see me get the gold disc or the gold whatever. I've got the silver one and you all are waiting to see me get the gold. I know it's a far-fetched thing. I don't have such high aims, but still I need my subscribers, so that when I stop going with these YouTube, when I stop my YouTube journey, by that time I will have a considerable amount of followers, subscribers. So anyway, before I start, I request you to subscribe to my channel and don't forget to press the like button if you have liked it, and I'm sure you'll like it. So what are we waiting for? Let's start. Yes, so Bonku Babu's friend, and yes, you must be aware if you have watched my other videos that I always tell you that it is better to read the box, that means which is given in the previous page about the author and his works. So here, page 69 in your book, Satyajit Ray, which are the things you have to read? The second paragraph, Bonku Babu's friend, an excerpt from three generation of writers. Satyajit Ray, he was more famous as a director, movie director, but then his father was a very famous author and a poet, Sukumar Ray. He used to call himself Sukumar Roy, not Satyajit Ray as he calls himself, and then before that also his grandfather in his time was also a noted story writer. So that is why the three Rays, the Ray family, the three generations of Rays. His grandfather Upendra Kishore, then comes Sukumar Ray, and then third is Satyajit Ray. So stories from Satyajit Ray has been chosen. Why have the ICSE board chosen this? Because of its popularity among the young readers. Bonku Babu's friend, which was conceptualized a long time ago, is an inspiration for Indian writers of science fiction. So Satyajit Ray has written on different genres. This is a science one. In ICSE, ISC, old syllabus, I teach one Fritz, that's a horror story, horror short story. So he has experimented on different genres. So Bonku Babu reminds me of that movie Koi Mil Gaya. Remember that alien having come and made friendship. So this is also a story of an alien visit. Bonku Babu, a gentle school teacher who was bullied by all. Bullied, when people tease you in a very rude manner, like many times in school your seniors, they bully you, or there are some who bully the rather timid students. If you go to an engineering college, though ragging has been banned, bullying is also sort of ragging. So who was bullied by all who knew him. Why? Because he was a nice person. He did not react, or rather his endurance level was very high. Stumbles upon an alien spacecraft. This discovery gives him the confidence to stand up against all those who mocked and taunted him. Why? Because this alien gave him this message that stand up against the wrongs which people are putting on you, making you suffer. Stand up against it. Don't face these wrongs timidly. So he gets inspiration from that and he stands up finally. He is a changed man at the end of the story. A gentle reminder that standing up to a bully is the only way to overcome the social evil. That means when someone physically or mentally tortures you, stand up against it. Don't tolerate it. Don't let it go. If you stand against, the bullies are really at heart, they are cowards. And so long as people bear it, they go on. Once you stand against that person, and then he'll go back into his shell. So now let's start the story. It's quite an interesting story. If you have read it in school, well and fine. If not, no problem. I am there. Ranjana ma'am is there to explain it to you. Bonku Babu's friend. No one had ever seen Bonku Babu get cross. Means no one had ever seen get angry. To tell the truth, it was difficult to imagine what he may say or do if one day he did get angry. So people did not know what would happen. How would he react? What would he say if he really got angry? It was not as if there was never any reason for him to lose his temper. There were countless occasions when there were reason for him to get angry, but he did not react. For the last 22 years, Bonku Babu had taught geography and Bengali at the Kankurgachi village primary school. Kankurgachi is a place in Kolkata. At this time, it is quite a notable place. It's not a village anymore. But when Bonku Babu was a school teacher, that time Kankurgachi was a village, it was a village, and now it is a part of Kolkata and not the outskirts of Kolkata. It is quite in the middle of Kolkata, quite a fashionable place, you can say. Every year a new batch of students replace the old one. But old or new, the tradition of teasing poor Bonku Babu continued among all the students. Yeah, if the teacher is timid na, so what do you students do? Yeah, even I did, or we did. We had a gang of notorious students. We were a group of notorious students, and yes, now that I am a teacher, I realize what the teacher must have felt. But no, none of my students, they never bullied me, though I never scolded them also. But we were in the habit of teasing those who would scold you the most. So trying to put all the wickedness in our act. So yes, this happens in school. But poor Bonku Babu, he was a timid. No, we didn't tease the timid unless the timid person's subject was boring. Like we had a Sanskrit teacher. She was a nice teacher. But the Sanskrit subject we did not like very much, so we troubled her a lot. She was the third teacher, but she stayed in school. But before that, 2 other Sanskrit teachers had left because we were so mischievous. So finally sister gave us, I belong to a convent school, finally sister gave us an ultimatum that if this teacher goes, I will throw you all outside school. So we stopped troubling her. So this happens. But in Bonku Babu's time, maybe the principal also did not do anything. So poor Bonku Babu, old batch, they left, new batch came, but the teasing of the teacher, geography and Bengali teacher continued. Some drew his cartoon on the blackboard. This is a favorite one of students. And others put glue on his chair. I remember my son saying that he had put a lot of chewing gum in the chair of his MCA teacher. He was doing his MCA in a reputed college, and what he did was to put a lot of, he and his friends, they put a lot of chewing gum, and the teacher came white safari in his white safari suit, and he sat there. And after that, when he got up to write something in the board, they clicked the photo. They had those phones that time. Naughty boys. But here, put glue on his chair. On glue means gum. On the night of Kali Puja, they lit a chasing rocket and set it off right behind him. This is really vulgar. This is very bad because this is physically hurting him. Bonku Babu did not get upset by any of these, so I think he has a lot of tolerance. Only sometimes he cleared his throat. This is how. Shame on you boys. This is how he would tell. Only sometimes. One of the reasons for maintaining his calm was simply that he could not afford to do otherwise. Why did he remain calm? Because he could not react. He could not get angry and say, I'll throw you out of class and all that. He couldn't do that. He was by nature a timid person. If he did lose his temper and left his job in a fit of pique, he knew how difficult it would then be to find another at his age. Yeah, so he had his limitations. Okay, I get angry and I say I'm not going to teach anymore. Then if he leaves the job, where will he find another job at this age? So he had to bear it. No other way. Another reason was that in every class there were always a few good students. Even if the rest of the class was full of pranksters. Suppose there are 40 students, 10 are good and 30 are pranksters. But for the sake of these 10 students, he enjoyed teaching. Teaching this handful of good boys was so rewarding that to Bonku Babu, that alone made life as a teacher worth living. So I am really lucky that in all these 28 years, online students don't create any problem. I tell you why. They are very silent, reticent. But offline students, but still, only 1 or 2 students in my 25 years of offline and then these 3 years of online, I have scolded. Maybe twice or thrice. And they come back to me and telling that when our children are of the age, when you give them tuition, we'll bring them. I have already taught the second generation, some of them. So that is indeed a compliment. And one of them said, I would see the timetable and say, oh, Ranjana ma'am's class, there is no tension. So yes, the love which I got from them, and in return I also love them a lot. I miss my offline classes, but anyway, handling both are really difficult. So now let's see what happens. Because of those good students, he felt life as a teacher is really a blessing. At times he invited these boys to his house, offered them snacks and told them tales of foreign lands and exciting adventures. He was a geography teacher. So yes, his knowledge about the various places all around the world, though he has not visited, but he knows about them, he knows their habits, the place where it is situated, and a number of stories. He told them about life in Africa, the discovery of the North Pole, the fish in Brazil that ate human flesh, and about Atlantis. What is Atlantis? The continent submerged under the sea. It is said that yes, at one time it existed and later it was submerged in the sea. He was a good storyteller. He always had his audience enthralled. Yeah, they were glued to his stories. He could tell stories very well. So those students who came to his house, when he invited them for snacks, and then they would listen to his stories, mesmerized, charmed. During the weekend, Bonku Babu went to the lawyer Shripati Majumdar's house to spend the evenings with other regulars. So Shripati Majumdar was a reputed lawyer, not only that, a rich lawyer, not only that, he was also in the school trustee board. So there were others who went there regularly, but he did not go there regularly. He went there on Saturdays and Sundays, but there were many more who would go there regularly. On a number of occasions, he had come back thinking, enough, never again. Why? Because when he would go to this Shripati Majumdar's house, these regulars, they would taunt him, trouble him, insult him, make fun of him. So when he would come back home, he would say, never, I am not going to go there again, I have had enough of it. But why had he to go every weekend? The reason was simply that he could put up by the pranks played by the boys in his school. But when grown-ups, even middle-aged men, started playing the fool with him, it became too much to bear. Yeah, in school, okay, these are small boys, what can I do? How can I scold them? After all, they are young boys. But here in Sripati Majumdar's house, the people who went there as regulars, they were middle-aged, some were young, but they also made fun of him, as if making fun of Bonku Babu had become a habit with the people of the Kakurgachi village. At these addas, a gathering where you go and talk and exchange pleasantries at a rich man's house or a friend's house. Adda, this is a typically Bengali word, adda. So yes, at these addas, it's a gathering. And these people have nothing to do in the evenings. Chalo, go to someone's house and let's have some talk. They would talk on different topics, then they would criticize someone. They needed to talk. And this person to whose house they went, that person would provide them with the snacks and all that. So they remained glued to them, and some of them were like sycophants, saying, nodding to whatever that person said. So at these addas that Sripati Babu hosted in the evenings, nearly everyone poked fun at Bonku Babu, sometimes bringing his endurance almost to breaking point. Sometimes it seemed as if his endurance level would break. He would react, but he kept control. Only the other day, less than 2 months ago, what happened less than 2 months ago? You might get a question, what happened 2 months ago? For your extra questions. They were talking about ghosts. Usually, Bonku Babu kept his mouth shut. He was only a listener. He did not speak much. But that day, what did he do? That day, for some unknown reason, he opened it. Opened what? Opened his mouth and declared that he was not afraid of ghosts. That was all? Yes. And now they pick up an occasion to make fun of him. Not only that, harm him physically. How? They played a prank on him which hurt him, which also damaged his dress. This is not done, na? Middle-aged people playing prank on another person, and who is a teacher. So on his way back home later that night, Bonku Babu was attacked by a spook. Yeah, as if a ghost. As he was passing under a tamarind tree, tamarind, imli. In Bengali we say tetul, in Hindi it is imli. So as he was passing that tamarind tree, a tall thin figure leapt down and landed on his back. From the tree, a figure. So this was all pre-planned. When he said, I don't believe in ghosts, maybe they planned. So one of them got up on the tamarind tree, or told someone to get on the tamarind tree and jump on his back, only to make him frightened. As it happened, this apparition means a ghost, had smeared black ink all over itself, possibly at the suggestion of someone in the meeting. So someone in the meeting made this plan and told this ghost to cover yourself in black ink. Go and cover yourself in black ink and jump from that tree and pretend to be a ghost and frighten Bonku Babu. They wanted to see whether he was really frightened of ghosts or not. But it did not have the effect they had wanted to see. He was not frightened. Bonku Babu was not frightened, but he was injured. Yeah. For 3 days his neck ached. Suppose someone jumps from a height on your back and your neck. So his neck ached. Worst of all, his new kurta was torn and it had black stains all over. Yeah, so someone jumps on that way. So yes, your kurta gets torn. And when he falls to the ground, it gets black stains, mud stains. What kind of a joke was this? This is not really a joke. This is like a assault, an attack, rather than a joke. Joke should be mild. Even so, Bonku Babu had to come to these meetings. Why? If he did not, what would Sripati Babu think? This is the thought which bothered him. Why? Who is Sripati Babu? that he should listen to him or he should try to please him. Not only was he a very important man in the school committee and the village, Shripati Babu was an important man in the school committee. His job might be in danger if he did not come here and attend the meetings, addas of Shripati Babu, because he was quite a reputed personality also in the village. But he couldn't do without Bonku Babu, who could provide amusement to all. And Shripati Babu, he wanted Bonku Babu to be present so that people would make fun of him and it would create amusement among the watchers, among the others. Someone would start pulling his leg and the others, yes, haha, so nice. Others would enjoy. One or the other would pick up something to tease. On one particular day, the topic of conversation was space. So what were they discussing? Space. In other words, they were talking of spaceships and space travel. On one particular day, what were they discussing? The topic of discussion, aliens or space. So they were talking of spaceship and space travel. Soon after sunset, a moving point of light had been seen in the northern sky. So yes, in the evening, the sun had already set and someone had seen a light in the northern sky. A similar light was seen 3 months ago, which had led to much speculation. 3 months ago also they had seen a similar light and they had started discussing what could be the source of this light. In the end, it had turned out to be a Russian satellite called Khotka or Foshka. Anyway, this satellite was supposed to be going around the earth at a height of 400 miles and providing a lot of valuable information to scientists. This had happened 3 months ago. The light, and they had come to know that this light was nothing other than a Russian satellite. But what is this one? Is it again a satellite or something else? This particular evening, Bonku Babu was the first to spot the strange light. So some people live on borrowed glory. Just see now. Bonku Babu was the one to spot the light. So what did he do? Then he called Nidhu Babu and showed it to him. Hey Nidhu Babu, just see, there is a light there. Nidhu Babu sees it and now he goes to this adda and takes all the credit. However, when he arrived at the meeting, so who? Bonku Babu, when he arrives at Shripati Majumdar's meeting, what does he find? He found that Nidhu Babu had coolly claimed full credit for being the first person to see it. This is what we say, borrowed glory. The glory should have gone, the credit should have gone to Bonku Babu for having spotted it. He showed it to Nidhu Babu, then Nidhu Babu saw it and now he had come to the meeting before Bonku Babu and he took all the credit, boasting a great deal about it. Bonku Babu said nothing. No one in this group knew much about satellites, but that did not stop them from offering their views. This is what happens. A little learning is a dangerous thing. So these people, they had little knowledge and yet they would be talking like experts. Said Chandi Babu, somebody sees a point of light in some obscure corner of the sky and the press gets all excited about it, all humbug. So Chandi Babu, he gives his expert opinion. This is all rubbish, all humbug. And in one corner there is a light and the press, they just get excited and they make it a news. Ram Kanai countered this remark. Ram Kanai is a youngster. He was still young. No, it may not be any of us here, but it is a human achievement surely. So this is a human achievement. No, we might not be involved directly, but it is a human achievement and a great achievement at that. Yeah, it's a great achievement. Well, you wouldn't expect a bunch of monkeys to do that, would you? So Chandi Babu says, yes, it is a human achievement, so what? Monkeys won't go and do this. All right, said Nidhu Babu, let's not talk of satellites. After all, it's just a machine. Satellite is just a machine going around the earth, they say. No, different from a spinning top. A top would start spinning if you got it going, or a fan would start to rotate if you pressed a switch. A satellite is the same. What's the difference between a fan and a top and a spinning top and a satellite? Satellite is the same, but what about a rocket? But think of a rocket that can't be dismissed so easily, can it? So can we dismiss it as it might be a rocket? So we cannot dismiss the idea as easily as we can dismiss a satellite, finding similarities between a satellite and a switching on of a fan or a spinning top. Chandi Babu wrinkled his nose. A rocket? Why, what good is a rocket? All right, if one was made here in our country, took off from the Maidan in Calcutta, and we could all go and buy tickets to watch the show, well, then that would be that would be nice. So what is there to feel proud about a rocket being launched elsewhere? If it had been launched in the Kolkata, in that time it was not Kolkata, that time it was Calcutta when Satyajit Ray wrote it. Kolkata is a recent change. Earlier it was Kolkata, then the Britishers came and changed the name to Calcutta, and so the spelling here is Calcutta, not Kolkata, and Kolkata is a recent change. The trend to change and bring back the original names have started in the recent past. Like it's not Madras but Chennai, it's not Mysore but Karnataka. So yes, names. It's not Bombay but Mumbai. Mumbai was the original name because of the Mumba Devi temple, and then the Britishers made it. This was the British word's accent, Bombay, and now it has again become Mumbai. So if you find some stories written before this reintroduction of the name Mumbai, so in that case you will find stories written Bombay talkies and all that. You're right, Ramkanai agreed. A rocket has no meaning for us here in this village. What meaning? For us, we are village people. Bhairav Chakravarti spoke next. Suppose some creature from a different planet arrived on earth, an alien, like Jadoo in Koi Mil Gaya. So what? Even if it did, you and I would never be able to see it. So even if it arrives, we won't be able to see it. Even if it arrives in this earth, it might not. What is the possibility that it would come here? It wouldn't come here to this infamous village. So it's the same for us. We won't be able to see it. It might land in America or some other place, but not here, not at all. Yes, that's true. Everyone turned their attention to their cups of tea. There did not seem to be anything left to be said. After a few minutes' silence, Bonku Babu cleared his throat. This is how, and said gently, suppose they came here. So why? Because when they are in space, they are coming from a different planet, they wouldn't know that this is an unsophisticated small village and that is a sophisticated big place. They wouldn't know the difference. So why not? Why can't there be the possibility of their coming here? What if they came here? Nidhu Babu feigned total amazement. Yeah, he pretended to be amazed. That also is making fun because Bonku has spoken. Hey, Bankum wants to say something. Hey, Bankum wants to. This is how he would distort the name of Bonku Babu and say Bankum. What did you say, Bankum? Who's going to come here? Where from? Actually, he is provoking the others to make fun, inciting them to make fun. Bonku Babu repeated his words, his tone still gentle. He is still talking in a gentle manner. Suppose someone from a different planet came here, as he did so often. Yeah, and this is Bhairav Chakravarti's bad habit. See how he behaves. Bhairav Chakravarti slapped Bonku Babu's back loudly and rudely, and yet he is trying to show he's friendly. But no, he does it loudly and rudely. But if you say, why are you hitting me? If he says, then he'll say, oh, we are friends. But no, he's doing it deliberately, nothing of friendship. Grinned, he is laughing and said, bravo, what a thing to say. Where is a creature from another planet going to land? Not Moscow, not London, not New York, not even Calcutta, but here, in Kakurgachi. So I told you na, that time Kakurgachi was a village, not a part of Calcutta. You do think big, Bonku, don't you? Your thoughts, they are so big that an alien spaceship should come and land here, not to the famous places of the world. But yes, Bonku is not wrong. How would those people know that this is not a famous place and that those are famous places? Bonku Babu fell silent. They started making fun, but several questions rose in his mind. Was it really impossible? If an alien had to visit the earth, would it really matter where it arrived first? This is the right thing. His thought is right. If the alien wants to visit the earth, will he make distinction? No, this is not a sophisticated place, that is a sophisticated. He would come and land anywhere and everywhere he can land. It might not aim to go straight at any other part of the world. All right, it was rather highly unlikely that such a thing would happen. Yeah, okay, agreed, it is unlikely in Kakurgachi village. But who could say for sure that it could not happen at all? But how can you say that it is impossible? Shripati Babu was silent so far. Now as he shifted in his seat, everyone looked at him. He put his cup down. Yes, he is the leader, he is the boss, and spoke knowledgeably. Yeah, as if he is the most learned person. Look, if someone from a different planet does come to Earth, I can assure you he will not come to this God-forsaken place. This is a God-forsaken place, this Kakurgachi village. Why should he come here? Those aliens are no fools. It is my belief that they are sahibs, and they will land in some western country where all the sahibs live. Understand? So he is giving his expert's comment. So how do you know they are sahibs? What do you mean by sahibs? By sahibs you mean westerners. So why should an alien be a westerner? But no, Shripati Babu knows everything. Everyone agreed. Yeah, because they had to, with the sole exception of Bonku Babu. Bonku Babu did not agree. Chandi Babu decided to take things a bit further. He nudged Nidhu Babu. Nudging, you push with the elbow. Why? To make him again start teasing Bonku. Pointed at Bonku Babu and spoke innocently. He tries to pretend innocence. Who? Chandi Babu. He wants to make more fun of Bonku. So he is nudging. That means inciting Nidhu Babu to make fun. Why? I think Bonku is quite right. He doesn't agree. This is a pretense. He is pretending to be innocent, only at the cost of making fun of Bonku Babu. Why? I think Bonku is quite right. Isn't it natural that aliens should want to come to a place where there is a man like our Bonku Bihari? So Bonku Bihari is his full name. So yes, why not an alien coming to this place where we have a famous person? This is another joke. He is joking, making fun of Bonku Babu, mocking at him, and yet he is pretending innocence, as if he is really, as his thoughts or whatever he is saying is real. He doesn't consider Bonku Babu to be famous, but he is deliberately saying all this to make fun of him. If they wanted to take away a human specimen, could they find anything better? Suppose these aliens, they come to our earth to take along with them a human specimen. Who would be the best for it? Bonku. No, I don't think so. Nidhu Babu joined in. Now yes, he has been nudged by Chandi Babu to say something. So Nidhu Babu again says, no, I don't think they will take Bonku. And then just see Chandi. Consider his looks, not to mention his brains. Yes, Bonku would be the ideal specimen. So yes, he would be the ideal specimen to be taken from earth. Just see how handsome. He is teasing. And he is got such brains. So he would be the best specimen to be taken from earth to their planet. Right. Suitable for keeping in a museum or a zoo. Ram Kanai chipped in. Ram Kanai is quite young, and that he should also make fun of Bonku Babu. Bonku Babu did not reply. So as if he is indifferent to their leg pulling. but wondered silently. If anyone were to actually look for a specimen, weren't the others just as suitable? They think I am suitable. Are you all perfect? Aren't you also as good specimen as I am? Look at Shripati Babu. His chin is much like that of a camel's. You've seen a camel's chin like this, protruding a little. And that Bhairav Chakravarti, his eyes were like the eyes of a tortoise. Nidhu Babu looked like a rat, Ramkanai like a goat, and Chandi Babu looked like a flittermouse. So, am I the only one who is a specimen? Aren't these people also fit to be the best specimen? If a zoo really had to be filled up, if a zoo had to be filled up, these were all ideal specimens to be taken to that alien planet. Tears sprang to his eyes. He is feeling sad that they pick up on me, but are they really very handsome, very perfect? No, they are not. And every time anything happens, any discussion starts, and they pick on me only and trouble me. Bonku Babu had come to the meeting hoping for once to enjoy himself. He never enjoys, but today also he thought maybe today will be a good day for me, I'll enjoy. But they have started teasing him. That was clearly not to be. No, I'm not going to enjoy myself here. He could not stay here any longer. He got to his feet. Take care, Bonkuda, warned Ramkanai. It is a moonless night, remember? And it is a Saturday. Saturday and moonless night. Moonless night means in Hindi you all say Amavas. So it's a moonless night and Saturday. That was clearly very auspicious for ghosts and spooks. Ghosts and spooks, they keep on roaming in the moonless night on a Saturday. So be aware. Everyone howled with delight. Everyone enjoys this remark. Why? Because this is what they had done to him 2 months ago. Bonku Babu was not carrying a torch or a lantern. There was no need for it. Why? Because he is accustomed to the road. In the darkness also he knows his path. It was too cold for snakes to be out and about, and he knew his way. So he did not need a torch or a lantern to see his path, because snakes wouldn't be here at this time. Why? Because during cold, the snakes go on hibernation. They get deep inside their holes. Snakes and the rodent creatures like rats and others. Then you have rikki-tikki-tavi, mongoose. They hide themselves in the winter season. Normally, not many people took this route, but it meant a shortcut for him. So he tries to take a shortcut. Though many people would not prefer to take the shortcut in the dark night. In the last few minutes, he had become aware of something unusual. At first, he could not put his finger to it. That means he could not pinpoint what was unusual, but he could sense something unusual. Somehow, things were different tonight. What was wrong? What was missing? Suddenly, he realized what it was. So, what was it missing? What was missing? The crickets were silent. Crickets are a type of insect, and they make a buzzing sound, G, 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 like this at night. So, not one was chirping, not one was making a noise. And that is what was usually heard every night when he went on his way home. But today they were all silent. This is unusual. Why? Why is the surrounding silent? No noise of the crickets. Why? Today there was only an eerie silence, eerie, mysterious silence. What had happened to all the crickets? So why had the crickets stopped chirping? Were they all asleep? Puzzled, bewildered, Bonku Babu walked another 20 yards, and then he suddenly saw the light of what? At first he thought that a fire had broken out. The first immediate thought that comes to his mind, maybe that light is that of a fire which had broken out. Bang! In the middle of Poncha Ghosh's bamboo grove. Bamboo trees all in a cluster. That is a bamboo grove, like mango grove or an apple orchard. This is a bamboo grove, and in the middle of the bamboo grove, in the clearing near a small pond, quite a large area was glowing pink. So this is the pink light. It is not the light of a fire. A dull light shone on every branch and every leaf. And down below, the ground behind the pond was lit by a much stronger light pink. But it was not a fire, for it was still. Fire doesn't remain still, it keeps on spreading. But this light was still. So what was this light? Bonku Babu kept moving. All at once his ears began ringing. He felt as if someone was humming loudly. A long, steady noise. There was no way he could stop it. So he hears some strange noise. Bonku Babu broke out into goose pimples. Yes, goosebumps we say when you are scared, frightened, and then on your skin you have goosebumps. But an irrepressible curiosity drove him forward. But he is also curious. He is scared, he is frightened, but he is also curious to know what is that pink light about. As he went past a cluster of bamboo stems, an object came into view. So as he passes the bamboo stems, making his way through the bamboo grove, what does he see? An object. It looked like a giant glass bowl turned upside down. Turn a bowl upside down and the shape you get. The shape of this object was also this, a huge giant bowl, covering the pond completely. Oh my God. It was through its translucent shade. Translucent is semi-transparent and semi-opaque. The medium stage. Transparent, translucent, opaque. So this is translucent is the medium stage. Not very clear, and it's not, that light cannot pass through it. It's visible but not very much. Strong yet gentle pink light was shining out to turn the whole area radiant. Yeah, the whole area was glowing. He took a few steps to get a better look. But now see, something happens. What? But suddenly felt as if an electric current had passed through his body. In the next instant, he was rendered completely immobile. So first suddenly he feels, oh my God, my body, as if an electric current is passing. And then the next moment, what does he feel? That he cannot move his hands and feet, his limbs, they have become immobile. His hands and feet were tied with an invisible rope, as if his hands and feet are tied, but he cannot see any rope. There was no strength left in his body. He had become completely weak. He could neither move forward nor backward. That means he gets glued to that place. A few moments later, Bonku Babu, still fixed stiffly at the same spot, he cannot move, he is still there in the same spot, saw that the object had gradually stopped breathing. All at once his ears ceased ringing and the humming stopped. So when this object stops breathing, the humming noise, that noise which he had heard, a long steady noise, when that noise stops, the ears also stop ringing and the humming also stopped. A second later, a voice spoke, shattering the silence of the night. So breaking the silence of the night, he hears a voice. It sounded human, but it was extraordinary thin. Millipiping crook, millipiping crook. It sounded loudly. So this language is not of the earth. Bonku Babu jumped a little. What did it mean? So what language is this? And where was the speaker? He could not see the speaker, but he could only hear the voice. The next words that the voice spoke made his heart jump again. Why? Because this time he knows the language. Who are you? Who are you? Why? These were English words. Was the question addressed to him? Bonku Babu swallowed. Yeah. Swallowed, because suddenly he can't see anyone, but he is being asked, who are you? Who are you? I am Bonku Bihari Datta, sir. Bonku Bihari Datta, he replied. So he answers, are you English? Are you English? So from within the spaceship the voice is coming. The voice went on, no sir. Bonku Babu shouted back, Bengali sir, a Bengali sir. This was followed by a short pause. Why? The creature inside must be trying to go through the languages in his mind, and then he picks up Bengali and he talks in Bengali. Then the voice came back speaking clearly, Namaskar. Bonku Babu heaved a sigh of relief and returned the greeting, Namaskar, he said, suddenly realizing that the invisible bonds that were holding him tightly had disappeared. Now he could move his hands and feet. The invisible rope which had tied him, now they had freed him. He could move himself. He was free to run away. But he did not. Why should he run away? There is a creature trying to talk to me. Bonku Babu is really, what should we say, a courageous person. Now his astounded, means surprised, eyes could see that a portion of the glass mound was sliding to one side, opening like a door. So it is an alien spaceship, and a door opens, making way for the alien to come out. Through the door emerged a head, like a plain smooth ball, and then the body of a weird creature. So we humans, we think that creature to be weird, and they might be thinking us to be weird. Its arms and legs were amazingly thin. With the exception of its head, the whole body was covered by a shiny pink outfit. These are the lines which you need to remember very well. You might get your MCQs. You might get an extra question. Describe Ang. It's the alien. Describe the alien, or describe the creature which came out from the spaceship. So please remember all these details. Weird creature, arms and legs amazingly thin, with the exception of its head, its whole body was covered by a shiny pink outfit. That means a dress. Instead of ears, it had tiny holes. No ears, tiny holes. On the face were 2 holes. Only the holes here, no nose, the nostrils there, and there is no mouth with lips, only a hole. So full of holes, 1 hole, 2 holes, and 2 holes here. There was no sign of hair anywhere, no hair on the body nor on the head. Its eyes were round and bright yellow. They appeared to be glowing in the dark. Bright in the dark. So I think we are thinking him to be weird, or Bonku Babu thinks he is weird, and it could be that he is the most handsome person in his planet. Who knows? The creature walked slowly towards Bonku Babu and stopped a few feet away. Then it gave him a steady, unblinking stare. Without blinking, it keeps on observing Bonku Babu. Automatically, Bonku Babu found himself folding his hands. Namaskar. Having stared at him for nearly a minute, it spoke in the same voice that sounded far more like a flute than anything else. That means very musical. Far more like a flute, more like a flute. That means you know the music of flute. It is said to be quite musical, quite nice to hear, soothing, pleasant to the ears. He spoke in that voice. Are you human? Yes. Is this earth? Yes. It's crazy that he talks in English, then he should know this is earth. He talks in Bengali, then he should know this is earth, because Bengali and English can't be spoken in any other planet but earth. And yet he is asking, are you human? Is this earth? I thought as much. My instruments were not working properly. I was supposed to go to Pluto. That time Pluto was a planet when Satyajit Ray wrote this story, but now we know that Pluto is not a planet anymore. When we were in our school, we had studied that there are 9 planets, and Pluto is the farthest one from the sun. But now we know that no, the existence of Pluto as a planet has been wiped out. Now you all study 8 planets in the solar system. I was supposed to go to Pluto. I wasn't sure where I had landed, so I spoke. Why did he land here? Because his instruments were not working, but his destination was Pluto, but his spaceship suffered. So, I spoke to you first in the language they use in Pluto, on Pluto, sorry. When you didn't reply, I could tell I had landed on Earth. A complete waste of time and effort. Why does he say it complete waste of time and effort? Because to him, Earth is a planet which is way backward. It is a backward planet in comparison to the planet from where he comes. It happened once before. Instead of going to Mars, I veered off and went to Jupiter. So there was another time where my destination, when my destination was Mars and I had gone the wrong way and landed in Jupiter. Delayed me by a whole day. It did. So he's laughing, amused. Bonku Babu did not know what to say. He was feeling quite uncomfortable. For the creature had reached out and was examining Bonku Babu's arms and legs with its long bony fingers. Yeah, it was as if probing the body in this way. When it finished, it introduced. After the probe was over, this fellow introduced himself. What does he introduce himself as? I am Ang from the planet Cranius. I am Ang. Hello, I am Ang from the planet Cranius. Never heard of a planet. It must be from in another galaxy, not our solar system, coming from another solar system, another galaxy. A far superior being than man. Just see how condescending his attitude is. What? This creature, barely 4 feet tall, that means hardly 4 feet tall, with such thin limbs and weird face, was superior to man. So, Bonku Babu nearly burst out laughing. This creature, superior to man. Ang read his mind. Ang is a mind reader. There is no need to be skeptical. I can prove it. How many languages do you know? You don't need to be skeptical. You don't need to disbelieve me. I'll prove that we are far superior. How many languages do you know? Bonku Babu scratched his head. Bengali, English and Hindi, a little Hindi I mean. You mean 2.5? Yes, I know 14,000. That means he must be knowing the languages of several planets. On our earth only we have so many languages. And he knows 14,000. We don't know 14 also. We don't know 4. My knowledge is limited to Hindi, Bengali and English. And a little of Sanskrit we had learnt when we were in school, but that we have all forgotten. So 3 languages. There isn't a single language in our solar system that I do not know. I also know 31 languages spoken on planets outside your system. Outside your solar system also I know how many languages? 31 languages. I have been to 25 of them. Out of the 31 languages which I know outside your solar system, I visited 25 planets. How old are you? I am 50. I am 833. My God. Do you eat animals? Bonku Babu had mutton curry only recently on the day of Kali Puja. Why? During Kali Puja time, many times sacrifices are carried out. And then yes, there is a feast. How could he deny it? We stopped eating meat several centuries ago, thank God. Ang says they have stopped eating meat several centuries ago. So it is good for Bonku Babu. Otherwise, Ang informed him, before that we used to eat the flesh of most creatures. I might also have eaten you. Yeah. So, I have turned veg now, or we have turned veg now several centuries back. Otherwise, yes, you could have been very well my food. Bonku Babu swallowed hard. He is frightened. Take a look at this. Ang offered him a small object. It looked like a pebble, small stone. Bonku Babu touched it for an instant and felt the same electric current pass through his body. Remember, first he felt an electric current and then he felt he could not move. So when he touches this pebble, an electric current passes through his body. He withdrew his hand at once. Ang smiled. A little while ago, you could not move an inch. Do you know why? It was because I had this little thing in my hand. Yeah, this little thing was in my hand, and that is why he could not move. It would stop anyone from getting closer. Nothing can be more effective than this in making an enemy utterly powerless. Yes, without actually hurting him physically. Without hurting the person physically, I can make him immobile. He won't be able to come close to me to do me any harm. Now Bonku Babu was genuinely taken aback. Taken aback is a phrasal verb which means surprise. His mind was coming out of its stunned state. He had been stunned and now he is recovering. Aang said, "Is there any place that you have wished to visit or a scene that you have longed to see but never could?" So Bonku Babu, being a geography teacher, he knows of a lot of places, but he might have wanted to visit those places but he couldn't. So Aang is asking. Bonku Babu thought, why? The whole world remained to be seen. I have not seen much. He taught geography, but what had he seen except a few villages and towns in Bengal? Only a few villages and towns in Bengal only I have seen, and the whole world is unexplored, left unexplored for me. There was much in Bengal itself that he never had the chance to see. The snow-capped Himalayas, the seashore at Digha, the forests in the Sundarbans, or even that famous banyan tree in the botanical garden at Shibpur. So in and around Kolkata or Bengal only there are so many places. However, he mentioned none of these thoughts to Aang. There is so much I would like to see, he finally admitted. But most of all, I would like to visit the North Pole. The North Pole. I come from a warm country, and North Pole, you know, is very cold. And what are the inhabitants of North Pole called? They are the Eskimos, and they live in house made of ice, igloo. Aang took out a small tube, one end of which was covered by a piece of glass. Take a look at this, Aang invited, like our telescopes, but it is not really a telescope, but it is a sort of tube. Bonku Babu peered through the glass, so he squints his eyes to look through the glass and felt all his hair rise. He's scared, surprised beyond words. Could this be true? Could he really believe his eyes? So yeah, he felt all this was incredible. He could not believe it, incredible. Before him stretched an endless expanse of snow. So he sees the North Pole through that tube. Aang has made it possible for him. Dotted with large hillocks, also covered with ice and snow. Above him, against a deep blue sky, all the colors of the rainbow were forming different patterns, changing every second. There was a group of polar bears. Wait, there was another animal, a strange, peculiar creature. Yes, it was a walrus. There were two of them, in fact, and they were fighting. It was a walrus. Sorry. Their tusks were bared, large as radish. Radish, you know what? A vegetable. In Hindi, you all say na muli. And they were attacking each other. Streams of bright red blood were flowing on the soft white snow. What a combination. On the soft white snow, red patches of blood. It was December, and Bonku Babu was looking at an area hidden under layers of snow. Still, he broke out into a sweat. So, though he is seeing it is very cold in Kakurgachi also, and he is seeing something which is also very cold, the North Pole, and yet he was sweating out of fear. What about Brazil? Don't you wish to go there? Asked Aang. Bonku Babu remembered instantly. Piranhas, those deadly carnivorous fish. Amazing. How did this Aang know what he would like to see? He is a mind reader. So Aang knows. Bonku Babu peered through the tube again. He could see a dense forest of Brazil. Only a light scattered sunlight had crept in through the impenetrable foliage. There was a huge tree, and hanging from a branch, what was that? Oh God, he could never even have imagined the size of that snake. Anaconda. Anaconda, you all know there was a movie also, Anaconda. It is much, much larger than that of a python. The name flashed through his mind. Yes, he had read about it in an old issue of the National Geographic magazine. It was said to be much, much larger than a python. Anaconda. So he gets to see the anaconda through the tube. Oh, here was a canal. Crocodiles lined its banks, sleeping in the sun. Then he sees another picture, that of a canal. Crocodiles lined its banks, sleeping in the sun. One was going to go into the water, splash. Bonku Babu could almost hear the noise of the splash. But the crocodile had jumped out of the water very quickly. Why? With his eyes nearly popping out, Bonku Babu noticed that there was virtually no flesh left on the belly of the crocodile. Bones were showing through clearly. So, what had happened to the flesh of the crocodile? Attached to the remaining flesh were 5 fish with amazingly sharp teeth and a monstrous appetite. What are these fish called? Piranhas. So the crocodile's flesh has been taken out from its body by the piranhas. Bonku Babu could not bear to watch anymore. His limbs were trembling. His head reeled painfully. My God, how horrible it is. The piranhas. Now do you believe that we are superior? So he gave proof of their superiority. Aang wanted to know. Bonku Babu ran his tongue over his parched lips. So his lips are dry. He's so scared. Yes, oh yes, certainly, of course, he croaked. A frog croaks. He's speaking in that tone. He cannot speak properly. He's so surprised beyond words. Very well, look, I've been observing you and I have examined your arms and legs. You belong to a much inferior species. To hear from that Aang that we are inferior, there is no doubt about that. However, as human beings go, you are not too bad. Regarding human beings, you are not a bad fellow. I mean, you are a good man. What a nice judgment, right judgment. He is a good man. Bonku Babu is a good man. But you have a major fault. So Aang points out the fault of Bonku Babu. You are much too meek and mild. That is why you have made so little progress in life. The reason for your not making much progress in life is because you are meek and mild. You must always speak up against injustice and protest if anyone hurts or insults you without any provocation. So, if you don't provoke anyone and they still do that, they insult you, they leg pull you, they harm you, then stand up against it. Speak your mind out. Don't tolerate everything that is unjust. To take things wrong is wrong. Yeah, this is not the right thing. It's not like Gandhiji. Someone comes and slaps you and offer the other. Be like Swamiji. When someone slaps you on one cheek, give 2 back. This is what he is also saying. Anyway, it was nice to have met you. Yeah, sorry. Not just for man, but for any creature anywhere. So this is a lesson not only for human beings, but for any other creature also. Don't stand up to injustice. Anyway, it was nice to have met you. Although I wasn't really supposed to be here at this time. I was supposed to be on my way towards Pluto. There is no point in wasting more time on your earth. I had better go. So your earth has nothing new to offer me. It's a waste of time. I'll better go. Goodbye, Mr. Ang. I'm very glad to have made your. But before he could complete his sentence, what happened? Bonku Babu, so dot 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 means he could not complete the sentence. Before that, in a flash, Ang was gone. So Bonku Babu could not complete his sentence. In less than a second, almost before he could grasp what was happening, Ang had leapt into his spaceship and had risen over Poncha Ghosh's bamboo grove. So the spaceship has already gone above Poncha Ghosh's bamboo grove. It has started on its destination. Then he vanished completely. Bonku Babu realized that the crickets had started chirping again. So this was the reason why there was an eerie silence, because of the spaceship landing there in Poncha Ghosh's bamboo grove. Now that it has left, again things return to normalcy. It was really quite late. Bonku Babu resumed walking towards his home, his mind still in a wondrous haze. Slowly, the full implications of the recent events began to sink in. Now all that had happened, he as if realizes it. Before that he was in a state of daze, and now he realizes what had happened. A man, no, it was not a man, it was an Ang, had come here from some unknown planet and spoken to him. How extraordinary, how completely incredible. Incredible is something which cannot be believed. There were billions of people in the world, but who got the chance to have this wonderful experience? A little while ago they were making fun of Bonku Babu when he had said it might, why can't it come here? It might come here. Suppose it came here. And now it did come. And he was the only person to have had an interaction with the alien. Bonku Bihari Datta, the teacher of geography and Bengali in the Kakurgachi village primary school. No one else. From today, at least in this particular matter, he was unique, having met an alien in the whole wide world. So this makes him special. Bonku Babu realized he was no longer walking. With a spring in every step, he was actually dancing. Yes, he is so happy. I am the only person. Yes, scholar's eye. The next day was a Sunday. Everyone had turned up, so the weekends. Everyone had turned up for the usual meeting at Shripati Babu's home. There was a report in the local newspaper about a strange light. But it was only a small report. They don't know the details. This light had been seen by a handful of people in only 2 places in Bengal. It was therefore being put in the same category as sighting of flying saucers. Tonight, Poncha Ghosh was also present at the meeting. He had something to say. He was talking about his bamboo grove. All the bamboos around the pond in the middle of the wood had lost all their leaves. So he sees something uncanny. All my bamboo trees, plants, they have lost their leaves. It was not unusual for leaves to drop off in winter, but so many plants to become totally bare in one single night, overnight, was certainly a remarkable occurrence. Everyone was talking about it when suddenly Bhairav Chakravarti said, "Why is Bonku so late today? So why hasn't he come?" Everyone stopped talking. So far, no one had noticed Bonku Babu's absence. Why? Because they were eagerly discussing about the light. "I don't think Bankum will show his face here today. Didn't he get an earful yesterday when he tried to open his mouth? Poor fellow, when he tries to open his mouth, they give him," said Nidhu Babu. No. Shripati Babu sounded concerned. "We must have Bonku." "Why? To have fun at his cost." Shripati Majumdar, "Yes." "Ramkanai, go and see if you can get hold of him." "Okay, I'll go as soon as I have my tea. I have had my tea," replied Ramkanai, and was about to take a sip when Bonku Babu entered the room. So, while they were talking of him and Ramkanai was given the job of bringing him here so that they could enjoy making fun of him, he comes in. But he doesn't come as he usually used to. Bonku Babu entered the room. Not to say entered would be wrong. No, to say entered would be wrong. It was as if a Small hurricane swept inside in the guise of a short, dark man, throwing everyone into stunned silence. Today it is a different Bonku Babu. The way he enters, like that of a storm. Then it swung into action. Bonku Babu burst into guffaw. What is it? It means a loud laughter, and laughed uproariously for a minute, the like of which no one had heard before, not even Bonku Babu himself. Even he had never heard himself laughing so loudly. When he could finally stop, he cleared his throat and began speaking. Friends, I have great pleasure in telling you that this is the last time you will see me at your meeting. So it is my last meeting. Swan song. He is leaving. He doesn't want to attend the meetings at Shripati Majumdar's house anymore. Why? Because here they only make fun of him. So he's standing up to injustice. He has taken the advice of Ang. The only reason I'm here today is simply I would like to tell you a few truths before I go. Yeah. So he wants to give them something back in their own coin. Number one, this is for all of you. You all speak a great deal of absolute rubbish. Only idiots talk of things they don't know anything about. And you all don't know about things and you all talk. That means indirectly he calls them a bunch of idiots. Number two, this is for Chandi Babu. At your age, hiding other people's shoes and umbrellas is just not childish but totally stupid and wrong. So that means Chandi Babu must have hidden. It is a childish prank that the elderly people should get engaged in this type of stupidity. So he says it is stupid and wrong. Kindly return my umbrella and brown canvas shoes to my house tomorrow. So it is in strict terms he tells this. Kindly return them tomorrow. He is standing up to injustice. Ang's advice is having its effect. Nidhu Babu, if you call me Bankum, I shall call you Nitwit. Nitwit means an idiot. Without any wit, lacking in wit. And you must learn to live with that. So if you call me Bankum, I will also tit for tat. I will call you Nitwit. And Shripati Babu, you're an important man, of course. You must have chamchas. Yeah, flatterers, sycophants. Sycophants. What does it mean? Flatterers. Yes, boss. The sun rises in the west? Yes, boss. Even if it is wrong, they'll say yes. But let me tell you, from today you can count me out. I'm not going to come anymore. If you like, I can send my cat to you. It's quite good at licking feet. That means all the people around here, they lick your feet, and I'm not going to lick your feet anymore. If you want, I'll send my feet. It can lick your feet and please you. And you are here as well, Pancha Babu. Let me inform you and everyone else that last night an Ang arrived from the planet Cranius and landed on the pond in your bamboo grove. We had a long chat. The Ang was most amiable. So one comes from a different planet and he is friendly, and you are humans, you are my neighbors, and the way you treat me. Bonku Babu finished his speech, slapped Bhairav Chakravarti's back so hard that he choked. Yeah, he couldn't take breath. So he gives Bhairav Chakravarti back, because today is the last time he has come to this meeting, so he is settling all the scores. Then he made his exit. What an exit! Striding with a bounce and a whistle, his eyes sparkling and his head held high. In the same instant, the cup fell from Ramkanai's hand. Why? He cannot digest the fact. Is this Bonku Bihari Datta that they knew? He seems to be a reincarnation, something very different from the Bonku they knew. Bonku Babu, shattering to pieces and splattering hot tea on most of the others. What a story. It's a nice story. Don't you all like it? Yes. So, I don't think you need any more explanations. It was quite easy and I tried to make it as lucid as possible. So, after this I might go for Julius Caesar or a poem. That depends. But for the time being, let Ranjana ma'am bid you goodbye and have a nice time ahead.